Okay, good evening, everybody. Strange to have the microphone in front of me. It's not actually for amplification for this small gathering. It's for the purpose of the recording we're making of this evening's launch event. So you'll notice the cameras behind you. We are recording tonight's launch so that we can actually publish it through social media over the next 48 hours. So this is the first of our media, if you like, release events for 2018, and I really, first of all, want to thank you all for coming and for taking time out of your busy lives to be here. It's very much appreciated. We have representatives from nearly all the Division 1, currently called Division 1 clubs, and most importantly we also have representation from our two new sponsors, James Cluskey from Mason Alexander, and obviously no stranger to people here, Alan Lewis from LHW Financial Planning. So I'm just going to kick off and do a short piece to explain to you the primary purpose why you're here this evening and the sponsorship we're launching. And then I'm going to pass across to our two sponsors who are going to say a few words as well and profile, I'm sure, their own businesses. And then I'm going to pass to our president, Derek Dockrell, who will also say a few words this evening. Just to say also to those who are here from the clubs, in particular the captains, our intention with the recording this evening is that you will have the opportunity to get in front of the camera after we've completed the formalities, just to answer a few questions for Robbo, and we will then on a phase basis release those interviews through social media in the run-up to the new season, and if you like, as a taster for the new season, so you can get your thinking caps on as we progress through this as to what you might like to say as part of that informal process. So just a couple of things in introduction, which we know no stranger to most people here, but important to say, especially in the context of those who are sponsoring our sport. Cricket Leinster is a very strong entity within Cricket Ireland. We have over 10,000 people participating in the sport throughout the province, and that's especially buoyed up by the increased participation in schoolyard cricket over the last 3 or 4 years. So serious numbers. Our numbers have doubled over the last 3 years. We've 42 clubs, and we have a very, very vibrant province, all told, and we're seeing significant growth, particularly in the non-traditional areas. So most of the clubs represented here today are obviously heartland clubs and have been long established, but a lot of our growth is actually on the periphery of the city, and I was explained this earlier on. Clubs like Tyrrellstown, Adamstown, Clondalkin, Swords, Lucan, Ashbourne, we're seeing very exciting growth, in many cases New Irish, as they're forming clubs and establishing, and I would say in 5, maybe 10 years time, the shape and complexion of our top division may be quite different as some of those clubs emerge, doubtlessly from exciting growth prospects. Also, I think everybody be aware, but I might just say it now and take this opportunity, we have new headquarter offices for Cricket Leinster, 13 Sandyford Office Park, right opposite the Lewis station. As Mary said to me, well, where is the Lewis station? But it's right opposite the Sandyford Lewis station, prominent spot just off the M50, and I want that to be the base for all governance meetings, committee meetings. Clubs should feel they can use the facility. It's very much an open door and a welcome in Sandyford for our clubs. So I'm not going to dwell on this hugely, but just give you a sense of the sort of stats. As I said, we're a strong province and our digital stats support this. We live streamed important cup matches last year for the first time from Pembroke, and thanks to Sean for the hosting of that. We had tens of thousands, literally tens of thousands of viewers online for those. It was also viewed in over 60 countries. So it really shows the power of social media and the ability for digital to access a much wider and broader audience. Our combined following across the social media channels is over 20,000, which is material. And our monthly reach in August, which obviously would have been our peak month last year, was over 200,000 people from our Facebook page. So we certainly have a strong bedrock from which to build and develop over the coming years. So now to the sponsorship announcement, I suppose, and the key points here that I just want to cover off and are relevant to the clubs here this evening. Division 1 is to be rebranded the Premier Division, and I think that came out very strongly from focus group feedback and from the players themselves, that it is our flagship competition, it is our primary event in the year, and it's appropriate that it should carry the tag Premier Division, and that is how we will market it for the future. Mason Alexander, I'm delighted to advise Mason Alexander, a leading Irish recruitment firm, and LHW Financial Planning, who are specialists at investment broking and advice, are partnering jointly to support Cricket Leinster with the Premier League cricket competition. So we have a joint sponsorship programme here, which I think is very innovative and a brilliant collaboration between those two firms, and is going to give us significant financial support. We're not disclosing the value of the sponsorship, but you can take that it will be a significant investment that will materially help us develop more sophistication around how we deliver our competitions. Both firms obviously will have clicked through on our website, and we are asking clubs to display portable signage in support of both of our sponsors at key Premier League matches. So a couple of points on activation that I just want to cover off. Some new innovations. Firstly, we are introducing what we're calling Game of the Day video production, which basically means that one Premier League match every Saturday or Sunday, depending on when the fixtures fall, will have a camera crew on site who will be recording footage of both innings, speaking to captains, presidents, any assembled people with wisdom around the game, and they will produce a short production from that, which will be a summary of the game that they recorded, and graphics for the other 3 league matches, Premier League matches that will have taken place that day. Because there's 4 league matches simultaneous at each round, and that package will then be published on social media within 24 hours, and that will be a repeatable formula throughout the season, right from the first games through to the last games in September. With our increased funding from sponsorship support, we're also committing that all major finals will be live streamed. So we piloted something last year, which we're very happy to expand upon for 2018. So the Leinster Senior Cup final, which will be held in a very important anniversary year for Pembroke Cricket Club, are hosting. That will be live streamed. The Alan Murray Cup Finals Day, which we live streamed last year, will be live streamed, and also the Women's Senior Final, which is being hosted here in Merrion in early August. An interesting innovation here at Merrion, which I think other clubs will be interested in and may well look to replicate. Merrion have made a decision, with our support, to live stream all of their Premier League home league fixtures. And they're leveraging a package called Pitch Vision, a match package which will involve a 3-camera production, one on each side screen, one I think potentially on the roof of the building, and from that they will basically record through an iPad the entire fixture. So that's an exciting development, and obviously their Wi-Fi capability here supports that. We're also looking to introduce a pilot radio campaign to increase awareness of the sport throughout the month of April in the run-up to the new season. Obviously, cricket's going to be in the media significantly over the next period in the run-up to the first historic Test match. Our intention is to capitalise on that for the benefit of our clubs. So we will be running a fairly intensive radio campaign. The messages have still to be confirmed, but they will be around the sport has doubled in the last 3 years. We're looking to make cricket a mainstream sport. There's 42 clubs throughout the province. Pointing people towards the clubs, to join the clubs, be part of the sport, raising awareness of cricket. It'll be on News Talk, Today FM, East Coast, and potentially iRadio as well. And if that is successful, we see that as a pilot programme, we look to develop that further and build our brand. Smaller things but important things, and the sponsorships again support this. There will be branded stumps, perimeter flags and practice equipment supplied to all the Premier League clubs, branded Mason Alexander and LHW. And finally, branded perimeter advertising boards, as you would expect for both of our sponsors over the season. So just a couple of things then, this is quite difficult to read, so I'm not going to dwell on it, but they're the fixtures, the Premier League fixtures for 2018. And you can see the red circles are around the games here that are going to be live streamed, part of Marion's exciting production. And the green circles are simply to show that our intention is to be in the Hills for the local derby between the Hills and North County with the camera production to capture that fixture on the 21st of April. And then on the 28th of April to be up in Rathmines for the Leinster-Pembroke game. This will be a rotating thing, and we'll make sure we get good coverage of all the clubs as we progress through the season. So that's it from me. That is the kernel of the announcement. And now I want to pass across to Alan Lewis to say some words in respect of his involvement in the sponsorship. Alan.
Thank you very much, Philip. LHW Financial Planning are delighted to be associated with this new Premier League. In fact, probably the naming of the league, which it justly deserves, sits perfectly with what we believe our brand is. We're under the radar financial advisors, dealing largely 50% between corporate employee benefits and individual advice to discerning clients. The business is nearly 50 years old. Started originally by my father, a great cricket lover himself, and I saw what cricket gave to him. And similarly for me, it's probably been a huge part of my life. And now, I suppose, in a sense, it's an opportunity, in one sense, to give back. I can't be any more praiseworthy than, in a sense, the new change that's happened within Cricket Leinster. I'm very familiar with, obviously, everything that's gone on, and I think tonight, the measurement is here, seeing obviously all the people who are participating in the Premier League all here, but also the way this is presented and the innovative changes, Marion doing their own thing, a game being streamed every week. You can't ask for more in a country where, in a sense, cricket has just grown. It's hard to believe that it's 2007 that in a sense, the journey began, that people began to realise that this country could compete to the moment last season where we get test status, and nothing made me prouder as a former player, as someone who's still involved and just has a genuine love of the game. I'm absolutely delighted, as I say, that our firm are associated with the Premier League. I think it's going to be a really exciting league, as it was last year. I see JP down there chomping at the bit. They had an iffy start and then just got on a run, and there was no holding them back, and they won quite comfortably in the end, and deservedly so. But it's going to be a really competitive league. Marion back in from Division 2 last season, so I think it all bodes well for what should be a cracking season ahead for cricket in Leinster. And as I say, we are delighted. And Philip, to you, the energy that you've brought to the organisation since you've come in, I can only commend you in that, in a time when sponsorship wasn't a big thing, and I'm seeing, the amount of brands that are beginning to be associated with cricket in Leinster, and that's only strong, not only for us, because to see the brands that are associated, but it might actually drag even more in to what you and the team in Cricket Leinster are doing for the game. So congratulations to you for that. And all I can say is to wish everyone well. Relegation is the elephant in the room, as we all talk about, so it'll be a cracking season, one I'm sure that everyone will enjoy. And thank you very much for listening. Thank you. And I'll hand over to James from Mason Alexander.
Thank you very much. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say I'm available for selection. I'm actually looking for a club at the moment, so if there's anyone interested,
sign here.
But no, we're delighted to be a part of this. So who are Mason Alexander? We're a recruitment company that was started by Andrew Lynch 5 years ago, working across several different areas: private equity, aircraft leasing, accounting and finance, and even into sports as well. So, sport is in our DNA. Our MD, Andrew, likes to think he's a very good sports person, but he went to Clongowes, and Rob Carney, the Irish rugby player, is a non-exec director. We see great potential in cricket. We see, test status. We're looking forward to being a part of it and being a part of the sport as it grows even more. So we're really delighted to be a part of this, and I'm looking forward to going to the match in May and attending some of the games as well. The last thing I'll say is I was speaking to some of the YMCA guys, and they said that their name should be on the trophy already. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
On behalf of Cricket Leinster, I would like to thank the two sponsors. James, welcome to the cricketing community, and we hope you'll have a long association with it. Alan, you have been a great supporter of cricket in Leinster for many years, and we really appreciate the support you've given us over those 20 to 30, maybe 40 years. But anyway, I suppose the other thing I should say is that, and Louis mentioned it, and that is that last year we had a great competition. We're looking forward to a similar competition this year. I think Louis was very flattering when he said that JP didn't have a great start. It was a masterful piece of planning to actually lull everybody into the thinking that Leinster were going to be there in relegation battle, and then suddenly win after win, and they stole the title from the Hills and Clontarf at the end. And I'm sure Clontarf will come back this year and think that and hope that they will finish it off this year. Otherwise, the only thing I'd like to say is to thank all the players for turning up tonight. I hope you all have a very good season. Play hard, play fair, and to the clubs, and really on behalf of Philip and myself, I would just like to thank the clubs for the support that you have given to us. And as you can see, it is a time of transition for Cricket Leinster, and we really appreciate the support we're getting from everybody during that time. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Well done, Derek. Just to sort of say, that's the conclusion of the formalities. Tea and coffee sandwiches continues at the back. We'd like to, with Rob's support here, we want to get a couple of key photos. So we want to get the club captains with the sponsors and our president. And we want to get club presidents or chair with our sponsors and our presidents. So we have a little bit of choreography just to achieve here. And we also, just to remind the lads that Robbo is looking to interview each of the captains as well. So there's a little bit of work to do just to wrap this up. And thanks a million for your attention for the formalities. Much appreciated.